Namaskar and good afternoon. My greetings to all the eminent guest speakers and moderator, Dr. Rajani, and all of you. Just yesterday evening, I was talking to my friend in India, and I was just briefing because I came back from India 3 days back. So I was telling that we are going to have an interfaith dialogue tomorrow, and he asked, what is the topic? I told, love your neighbor. And he said, that's what I was trying to do, but her father complained in police. Let's close our eyes, pray to God. Om Ishavasyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magradha Kasyasvidhanam. Whatever is existing in this universe, whether moving or non-moving, everything is pervaded by the divine power of God. In other words, we can say there is nothing which is non-God. Leaving our attachment, performing our duties as prescribed by the scriptures, we should move forward in our spiritual life. We should be detached because whose wealth it is, it all belongs to God. Om Tat Sat Om. Once again, good afternoon. We heard from all other major religions from the world. So I'm here to represent something, but which religion? It is a question because, when my master Baba Hariharananji and my Guru Paramahansa Pragyanananji, when they travel, so they also have many beautiful experiences, especially when we face immigration officers. So just to tell you, once my master Paramahansa Hariharananji was traveling, and when he came to USA, immigration officer looking at the passport, he asked, so you are a monk? He said, yes. Which religion? Now this is a difficult question. By birth, yes, we are from Hindu religion. But what we practice, it is universal religion because we practice meditation which is based on breath regulation and concentration. So it is a non-sectarian practice and we embrace all religions. So when he was asked this question, which religion? He immediately said, breath is my religion. And you can imagine, the immigration officer, he could not understand, what do you mean? However, so breath is our religion. Do you know why breath is our religion? If there is no breath in this body, we are dead body. We cannot do anything. Neither we can eat, neither we can talk, nor we can practice anything. All religions come after our breath. However, so today's topic is love your neighbor. It is a very interesting topic. Before we go into more detail, we need to understand who is our neighbor. Usually we understand this definition of neighbor as one who is living next door to us is our neighbor. But just think, is it the only definition? Is it the only term which defines neighbor? So who is our real neighbor? Just think, two brothers, when they construct houses, and then these houses are next to each other. So will you call them brothers or will you call them neighbors? That is what is happening in the world. We all are brothers and sisters, just constructing different houses, creating little boundaries. We are still brother as one of our eminent speaker told that in Islam, neighborhood and brotherhood, or neighbor and brother, they are interchangeable. So we all are brothers and sisters, and we are also neighbors. When you say that it is my house, and it happens when we visit the disciples' houses, so they show, this is my room, this is my car. So when you say this is my room, when you say this is my house, this is my cat, this is my dog, so can you consider them as neighbor? Because they also live with you. They're also your neighbor. When you see others' dog, how do you see it? Do you see that it is your own dog or it is neighbor's dog? If we consider that neighbor means one who is living with us or next door to us or nearby us, then who is the first neighbor? Your body is the first neighbor, because you are living with this body. So your body is the first neighbor, and in Maitreya Upanishad, it is 2nd chapter, 1st mantra, Deho devalayah proktam sajivah kevalo shivah tyajet ajnana nirmalyam soham bhavena pujayet. Meaning is that this body is temple of God, and the soul within is none but God himself, God the Absolute. Tyajet ajnana nirmalyam, leave behind your ignorance, remove your ignorance, attain purity, and worship divinity in this body form with an attitude of Soham, I am that. The same concept and teaching is mentioned in the Holy Bible. If you read 1 Corinthians, 3rd chapter, 16th passage, it is written, don't you know that your body is temple of God and God's Spirit dwells within? So this body is our neighbor, because day and night we are living with this body. And this is not an ordinary body, it is temple of God. So take care of your neighbor means take care of your body. Keep it healthy, maintain it with proper exercise, with proper diet, because it is temple of God. Then if you go a little more ahead, can you consider this table, chair, cup, even the books and computers as your neighbor, because you are living with them and constantly you are living with them. You have bought these or purchased these items so that they can give you happiness, and you are using them. So they are also your neighbor. So take care of them also. What does it mean? Take care of these articles which you are using in proper way. How? There are two ways of using everything. Suppose I take my pen, and if I have to keep it on the table, I can take it and just throw it away. Or with so much of love, I can take it and place it with love. So take care of all these articles which are a neighbor means with love, treat them. Then all your family members are your neighbor. You will say, Swami, it is a new definition. Yes, you are living with them, so they are also your neighbor. They might be staying in the same house, maybe in the next room, so they are also your neighbor. So take care of your family members. Now, when you are talking to your family members, how do you talk? Do you talk with them with ego, with anger, or with love? If they are your neighbor and you have to take care of them, so you'll talk to them with love, because there is also presence of God in them. We chanted the mantra in the beginning, Isha Vasamidam Sarvam. Whatever is existing is pervaded by the power of God. So there is presence of God in them. They are also your neighbor. Take care of them. Love and respect them in every possible way. If you remember in the Holy Bible, there is also teaching of expanding our domain of love, where it is said, from the fullness of heart you speak. So when you treat your family members, treat with love, with openness. we always want to change others. We want to impose our views, our ideas, our concepts onto other people, and that is the place where conflict starts. My Guruji told there are two minds. There are people, and we can divide in two categories. One mind we can say spiritual mind, which always tells, I will change myself. And there is another mind, which is political mind, which tells, I will change the whole world. So it begins with changing ourselves. If we can change, and we can bring more love within us, then we can love others. It becomes much more easier. When I go from place to place for programs, people complain. Sometimes they have problems, surely. But sometimes I hear this complaint. Somebody coming to me telling, Swamiji, I cannot love my mother. Why? Because when I was child, she did something. Maybe she did something, but why can't you forget it and forgive her? She is your mother. She has been taking care of you. So now when we discuss that your family members are your neighbor, so you have to extend your love unconditionally. Just think, how can we love? If you go out in the morning in your garden and you find a flower, a blooming flower, if you look at that flower, how do you feel? You feel happy. It is refreshing you. This blooming flower is giving completely itself to you, not in part. And that is what we have to learn from the flower, that when we give ourselves, we receive more. The more you give, the more you will receive. And remember, without giving, you cannot receive. If you do not exhale, you cannot inhale. If you cannot digest, you cannot eat. So you have to give, and this giving or this charity is in the form of selfless love. The more love you give, the more love you receive. Let us take an example. Suppose I smile. If I smile at you, will you not smile at me? So if I smile, in return, how many smiles will I get? Maybe 120. There is no stock market in the world which can give you back 120% profit. So similarly, if I give my love, in return, how much love I will receive? 120 times. So this is, I was in marketing field before I became a monk, so those impressions are still in my mind. We the human beings, we can understand everything and being. God's love and creativity manifest in us more than other species. Love grows, love starts with acceptance. When the question comes that how can we love others? How can we love our neighbors? So love begins with acceptance. Once we accept others' view, others' ideas, even when we accept our own body, so acceptance is the first condition to begin with, and then love grows with understanding. Let us go one step further. We all are working. So when we are working in the office, all our colleagues, they are also our neighbor. Because, you are sitting in one cabin and next cabin, your friend is there. So he's also your neighbor. Have you ever thought about this concept, that he's your neighbor and you have to take care of your neighbor? As we heard from the eminent guest speakers, that we have to take care of the community. We have to take care of all others who are with us. So they are also your neighbor. Take care of them. Extend your love to them. Can we extend our attitude of neighborhood to other country also? Because we started from the self, from the body, and then we have to expand this domain of love to other countries also. If you go on just discussing negative things, there can never be any unity in the world. So we have to forget that. Can we not think of all other countries as our own neighbor? We can. There is a story of two brothers. One brother got married, and other remained unmarried. So the brother who got married, he was always thinking that my brother who is not married, he's alone, so he has to take care of all the household works, and he has to go to his work also, so he is overloaded. Why shouldn't I do something? So he discussed with his wife, and he wanted to help his brother, but incognito. Because if he would tell that I want to help you, he may not accept it. So what he did, he was taking some groceries, some vegetable, fruits at night when his brother was sleeping, keeping everything in a basket and just leaving at the door. And this brother, who was unmarried, he was thinking that my brother has got married, so he has more responsibility, so he needs more help. So he was doing the same thing incognito. He was keeping everything in the basket and putting just near the door. And for many years, both of them, they could not know who is helping each other. And one day, it happened that one brother got up early, and then he found that his brother is helping every day. And that day, they hugged each other, and when the villagers came to know about these two brothers, they welcomed and they were respected in society, and that became an example in the village. I'm sharing this story because we should be like those two brothers. It doesn't matter how much we have, where we are, in what condition we are, in which place we are, it doesn't matter. But we can always help others, and this is the attitude of giving. This is the attitude of taking care of our neighbor. Remember, love needs no caste, no creed, no religion, no gender, and nobody needs to be taught love. Nobody needs to be taught how to love. It is your nature, because you are love. We discussed that love is God. God is love. So love is also our own nature. We are love. Because in mathematics, there is calculation. A is equal to B and B is equal to C. So therefore, A is equal to C. So God is love and we are love, or we are God, as we discussed. We are God. So God is love, and so we are love. In this modern time, as the technology is day by day giving us new gadgets and new comforts, new luxuries, what is happening? The distance between the human being is increasing, and there is lack of love, there is lack of understanding, and that is the problem we are facing in this modern society. But remember, we cannot just blame the modern technology or blame the world or other people. We need to turn our attention within and look what we can do the best. As we discussed, when we can change ourselves, we develop love, and then we can extend it to others. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. My master, Baba Hariharananji, he gave a beautiful example. He said that you cannot take your fingers and bite yourself, because you feel that it is yours. So when you feel that in your neighbor, it is not your neighbor, it is your own consciousness, he is your own part and partial, then you will love him. So wherever we are, we have to extend our love. Love your neighbor. This is a nice theme. So who are the neighbors? Just to sum up, our body is our neighbor. All the articles which we are using, they are our neighbor. Then our family members, our friend circle, our colleagues in the workplace, they are neighbor. Then all our people living in the community, they are our neighbors. And then all the countries are neighbor. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, this is the concept of Vedic period or Vedic rishis. They had this vision and they gave this teaching. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means this whole earth is a family. So we should live like brothers, we should live like neighbors. And really speaking, who is neighbor? You know, when we go to other places and when I fly, so the person who is sitting next to me is my neighbor. Have you ever thought about it that that person is your neighbor? And what is happening? In practice, the only thing which is exchanged most of the time, hi, good morning, how are you? That's all. After that, no communication. And remember, if you want to love, communication is most important. If you don't communicate, how can you love? You have a lot of love in your heart, but you don't communicate, it doesn't matter. So develop your understanding with acceptance, communicate better, and make this world a better place to live with. So I'll conclude my talk with the hope that we all will come together, being the neighbor, and will take care of each other. We love each other unconditionally, and this love is not, as we heard from one of the speakers, it is not conditional love, it is not material love, it is divine love. It is selfless love in which there is no expectation. Love does not demand anything in return. If you love somebody, you just love. You don't expect anything. I'm praying to God, I'm praying to all the saints and sages to give us wisdom, to give us more in our understanding, more love, so that we can practice this beautiful teaching, love your neighbor, in our life. Thank you all.